Hey, KJ, it's Anna, and I am going to go ahead and do your health check on your Facebook group. First of all, thank you so much for letting me do this for you. My goal is to help you, and that's why I did not submit the first draft of this because I was kind of all over the place because this is actually the first time I've gone through a health check for a Facebook group. I love to help people, find those little kind of cracks that can really make a difference in your business. So my goal is to just kind of make you think about things, not necessarily, changing any of your ways. Obviously, there's a reason why you do things the way you do, and I'm not here to step on your toes. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to give you kind of an insight of how successful groups work and really how to create a group that is exceptional, something that stands out from the crowd. There are, as you know, I'm sure, there are so many groups out there, especially for entrepreneurs, that typically do the same thing, right? They kind of get lost in the shuffle. So I'm here to share with you a few things of, how to make it stand out and really how to, so that you don't blend in like the rest of the groups. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So as you can see on my left-hand side, I have all of these shortcuts here. These are all the groups I'm actually in that are set to favorites. I am in probably, 100 something groups. But my point of that is that 2 points. One, like I said earlier, there are so many groups that just kind of go through the motions. Yes, they have large numbers, but they go through the motions. Yes, their engagement might be great in their eyes, but is it really a place where your members can have that experience where they connect you as the thought leader in having an amazing group? So that's one reason why I mention it. The other reason I mention it is in relationship to your Facebook group name. Okay, so your name is Hearsay PR Posse. Now, it tells me that Hearsay is obviously your brand. PR Posse is you are dealing with PR, and Posse is a group. So I think that that's a great description of a group that is not your typical group, right? So if there are people looking for PR groups, you've actually done a really good job at making that searchable. I haven't really searched for PR groups, but you have it in the description. So it is a searchable group. Okay. So your name is fantastic. It's short enough as well. I'm going to see if I have, let me see. I pinned to shortcuts. Okay, let's look at this here. And this is actually something very valuable that people don't think about when they create their group. And maybe you did. I hope you did, which is awesome. But if you look on the left-hand side, you can see your shortcut, your Hearsay PR Posse shows up specifically. Like exactly which group you're looking for. So you can scroll through my shortcuts and see which ones stand out and which ones don't, right? So these short words are something that people don't really pay attention to. And I think you did a great job with keeping it short so that people can find your group when they're looking for it. Your goal, here's the one thing that I like to teach, is your goal is not that your members are looking for notifications or even looking for your posts in their feed. However, that's helpful, obviously. But our goal these days is really to have your group members set your group as a shortcut or as a favorite and go directly to your group. So keeping them short, keeping your name short is important. And obviously keeping your content and your experience uh, at a level where people really, really want to spend their time in. Okay. So great job on the name. That's fantastic. Okay. So now the one thing I want to take a look at is, can people find your group? Okay. So I always look at people's profile page, right? Obviously, we want to be selective in taking friend requests, but we want to be able to um, stand out so that our group members, our future group members, can find us just by clicking on our profile. And why do I say that? I know we don't typically use our profiles for our business, but when you're being active in a Facebook group that's not your own, and you're being super helpful in a Facebook group that's not your own, what is the natural thing for someone to do? The natural thing for someone to do is to click on, who is this that is sharing this information with me? So they'll click on your profile and they'll come across here, right? So you have your pages that people can get to very easily, which is great. So if your goal is to specifically get them to your page, and that's where you spend most of your time, perfect. And yes, there's a way to see your group on your page as well. I'm going to go through that in 1 second. But what I want to suggest, if this is something that you really, really want to, spend your time in and really get to know your members and really have your members, speak for you and refer, use the leverage, use the free leverage. It doesn't cost you anything for referrals. If one person that's in PR that absolutely loves the experience that you've given them in your group, they're going to refer their friends to your group. So keep that in mind also. All right. So your intro, here's what I like to do is I like to give people an opportunity to actually find my group in my intro. Now I say that, and I wonder if I've actually made a change to my own page. All right. So I have my Instagram, which also links to my group, and my website. Like you, I have my page. Now, here's what I was going to show you regarding the page. Some way they need to find our group. So if they're going to click on our page, that's fantastic. And that's exactly what I have set here. So they click on my page and I have visit group button. Okay, this is just a new feature. There are things that Facebook is starting to do that is starting to lead us in the direction of community and conversation and groups. Okay, so we want to stay ahead of the game. Most people don't know about these options. All right, so editing your button to send people to your group, you can easily click on, join your community, and add it there. And it's a direct link to your group, which is fantastic. You can also put it on your left-hand side and, which I'm sure you did. I want to say you probably did because you actually post as your business. So let me see. If I click over on your page, you have a contact page, you have a send message page. That's awesome. Your group is kind of hard to find, but it's up to you on prioritizing your list over here. So that's totally up to you. But yes, your group is here, easy to find if someone is going to land on your like page. So that's fantastic. See, here's another great thing is if somebody lands on here and they want to share your group, they can share it. So I can share this group very easily, right? It's free advertising. How amazing is that? All right. So on your profile, people can find you on your Instagram. I'm going to click on your link on your Instagram, and I believe that all the links, PR site, all the press, PR. All right. I don't see, visit the Pure site, learn about name drops, waitlist. Okay, I don't see a link to your group here. So this is an opportunity where you can add your link to your group. If you are not doing this in your email, so let's just say you don't want to put the link to your group in your Instagram profile. You'd rather make sure they get on your email list first, which I know that you and I have discussed on why you ask for email address when someone joins your group, and obviously you want them on your email list. So I would always make sure that people know how to find your group in your emails. Make sure that you have a link to your group for your emails. So these are all just ways for people to find you without you actually having to tell people. And people on Facebook are curious, are nosy. They want to know. And if they're snooping around, you want to be able to share with them an easy way to find you and your group. Okay. So let's go in your group. Now, there are some questions that I like to go through that are kind of, a check in your group. All right. And here's the thing. This is something that I'm trying to get across, that it really doesn't matter how many members you have in your group. You can have 3 members in your group, and if they're having an amazing time, it's much better to have 3 members who will refer their friends than to have 1,000 members and not one person liking or commenting. It really doesn't matter the group. It matters that group's experience. So, number 1, let's not even pay attention to the size of your group. All right. So we went through how they can find you. Yes, easy. Does your name reflect your group? Yes, it totally does. And it's searchable. Fantastic. All right. Now, does your branding reflect you as a person? Now, I wanted to say something. I mentioned it earlier, that I noticed that you post in the group as your business. Now, there are a couple sides of this. Some people absolutely want to post as their business in the group because it's their business group. I come from a different philosophy. People buy you, they don't buy your business. People are not going to buy Hearsay PR. They're going to buy KJ. They're going to buy you and your message and your conversation and your connection as a person. So personally, I would suggest that you add yourself, again, as a poster. I'm not saying to post all the time as you, but I am saying to, post as you. You're the one that's connecting with these people, and people connect to the person versus the business easily. And I'm sure that you know that. All right. So example, you are going live as your business in here. So we know that this is your business. But we don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you might have a team that runs this and the team is posting as the business. But I do want to say, if you are going to do a Facebook Live, I would suggest you are the one that posts it. You can see, and video does really well, but my concern is that you don't really have that much activity here on your video. And I would probably change it up and make the next one your name as posting it, so that people connect with, okay, she's posting it, right? It's not the business posting it. Okay. So that was my one suggestion, was connecting yourself to the brand and making it very easy for people to say, yes, I know exactly who is the thought leader in this group, right? Because again, we connect to the person. All right, I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. All right, so now my next question is, do your members share their own posts in the group? Now, when I scroll through here, it looks like that's a room for improvement, I guess. The other thing I want to check is, okay, so if I wanted to post on my post myself, then I could. Some people choose to make posts members unable to post on their group page. So you have the ability to do that. So maybe one of your goals is to get your members to start sharing their own posts. Okay. So that is like health check number one. Number one would be posting as your name on occasion. I would say at least 50-50. I would say number two would be getting your members to post on their own. All right. There are strategies that you can go about to do that. But if you keep that in the back of your head, it'll make it much easier, as I'm sure you know, to make it happen. All right. So number three, do your members share more than just a quick answer? Okay. So when I scroll through here, I see that, you've got some likes on your pinned post. I see that you've, I'm sorry. I take that back. On number two, do you remember share their own post? Yes. Guess what? Sean shared her own post right here, right in front of my face. And she shared her success. So that's actually a really good thing because she feels that it's a safe place to do it. And you totally gave her kudos. And one of your other members gave her kudos as well. So maybe you can just kind of work on getting more of that. Obviously, we don't want it to go crazy, but we have some control over it. So I wouldn't be afraid of your group being crazy busy with people posting all the time. Remember, you're very selective with who you have in your group, which means if you're selective, chances are people will respect you and they won't post crazy things and it will not get crazy in there. Another reason why size doesn't matter. Because if we are just looking at size, we're going to take anybody under the sun. And so we have to manage our posts a little bit more when we have a larger number of people. In your case, I wouldn't worry about it. So now, here's a great post that you did on Wednesday, celebrating wins. People love to talk about their wins. So what I did notice in your group is that you really give genuine, happy, congratulations feedback. You're always there to congratulate your group, which is fantastic. A lot of people are MIA in their group. Okay, so this was a great post where you are you're looking for people to share something about them. And you know what? Wins are a chance for your group to pat themselves on the back. Okay, so do your members share more than a quick answer? So in this case, yes, Shauna gave more than just yes or no answers, right? So same with this picture and post. It's an opportunity for people to share about themselves. People love to talk about themselves, okay? So in this case, you have people sharing these big, great posts, these big, great comments, and you have given some amazing feedback. This is exactly what you want right here. So you want people to speak up and you want to, to be able to give your expertise, which that's the whole goal. Okay. So, kind of structuring your post to give, number one, quick wins for your group members. And number two, give them an opportunity to share more than just a quick answer. If we're just looking at simple engagement, sure, a quick answer bumps the post up, which is great. But I will tell you the weight of, having a long comment versus a click or a yes is much better. So if you have the opportunity to kind of build a post so that you're going to get activity that will increase the chances of you getting a longer response, and that's awesome. So example would be a fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks. Today I ran out of time to ... but I am going to pat myself on the back for doing ... Let me tell you, just a post like this will get your group talking. Facebook wants conversation. Fill in the blanks right now is so good to use. And make it about your group. Don't necessarily make it about your business. Make it about your group. You want people talking. When people feel comfortable about talking, they'll feel comfortable, more comfortable about talking about the business. Or, something that's more related to what your services are. Okay. So that was sharing quick answers. I gave you a couple suggestions on how to bring people, to commenting more than just a yes or no. Okay. Now, as far as your opt-ins go, okay, this is fantastic. Okay, talking about referrals. I don't know if I talked about this earlier, but your group, you want referrals, right? Here's a perfect example of someone sharing your post and getting a referral from your member on how, just kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Validation for you that you're on the right track, that you're sharing the right things. And this is the other thing about using your Facebook groups. You're on the right track when you have a member sharing a post that you've created. It connects with the group. So you're on the right track. Even though it may seem like not many people are, commenting on it, I think that it's very valuable that someone shared it. Okay, so please pat yourself on the back for that, for sure. All right, now, do your members tag each other in the groups? That's another health Facebook group question. The reason why I say this is because, again, we want conversation, but we want a community to have an experience. An experience would be connecting with each other. Now, think of this. When one person connects with another person in your group, you've now just created leverage for your group because they're going to have a cross conversation in the group, which is going to boost your engagement and boost your posts to show up in the notifications. So now, another way to focus on it is how can we get our members to communicate with each other and become friends? This is key to building a successful community. If you have members that have become friends, they're locked arm in arm, and guess where? They're going to remember where they met. They're going to remember that they met in your group, and they're going to continue to have conversations in that group. So one thing to keep in mind is my goal would be to have my members tag each other in the group. So keep that in mind when you're creating your content. Okay, now, is your group only one topic, or is it relative to the actual members in the group? I would say, obviously, your Facebook Lives are brand and business specific, which is great. That's your Facebook Lives really should be. And your PR tools, your freebies are brand specific, but I would want you to kind of branch out. Again, we talk about experience. And yes, it's have you achieved all the sales? What are your wins? But think about your members. Think about who is in this group. What do they do in their daily lives, right? You take your members. I want to leave this page because I don't want to post that. Take your members. What do your members do in their daily lives? What do their days look like? Are they wine drinkers? Are they coffee drinkers? What are you doing? Are you sitting in your backyard drinking your coffee? Really kind of put yourself in their shoes and share experiences that you're going through that are outside of the business, which will also make it a place that people want to spend their time in. Your business is the bonus. The conversation is really what keeps it alive. And I think that people get that mixed up. I think that they start their group and it's solely about their business. And this is why it fails, because people don't necessarily want to talk about this all day, every day, right? But they want to talk to people and they want to connect with people that are like-minded. Well, your group obviously has collected people that are like-minded. And now, And now this is an opportunity of you to really be the connector of that community. And the bonus is your content and your business. All right. So I've got that one checked off. And then I kind of already went through this. Is there conversation amongst each other? Is it conversational? Okay, conversation. I keep talking about conversation. Conversation is key in these groups, right? So a goal would be to have a conversation with you and your members. That's number one. Another goal would be to have a conversation with member to member, right? Or, a conversation within the comments that where someone feels safe enough to ask the question and your members feel safe enough to answer the question. So you want to create that environment where people want to have a conversation with each other in the group. Now, that being said, certain things what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with, because it's much easier for me to write it out, I'm going to come up with some ideas on some sample posts that you can use in your group that will create conversation amongst you and your member, as well as conversation amongst your members themselves. I'm going to go ahead and send that to you at a later date, but I want to get you this video and just get your feedback and see. Please tell me if it's helpful. I will say that your images are dead on as far as the vibe and feel for your business. I will say one thing here. Your cover photo doesn't say what the group is, okay? And I would change that and add, I love the picture, but I will say it's a little blurry on my desktop because it's been resized or something. Check the dimensions on your cover photo. And I would put a title on your cover photo, because the only way I know which group I'm in is looking at the text on the left. So that's one other thing to say about that. All right, so that's my first little health check. And let me know if that's more confusing, if it's helpful, if it's, kind of guides you in the right path. But most importantly, if you have any questions or specific questions about what I went over in your group. All right, that's it. I appreciate this, and I hope you have an awesome week.